I first came across this material when Charles Walters, who was the editor of Acres USA, did an article on Richard Olry in Minerals with Genetic Code. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And shortly after that, he then created this lovely book with Richard Olry. There you see, and you can probably see how beaten this up is. It is a bit of a Bible in regards to issues that come about through day-to-day life, and you'll see that as we further go through this podcast. But it really started to make sense to me how the minerals were all in a format that they bound and ran in a harmonic to create a DNA strand. There's no accidents. It's just like because of how things work with electromagnetics and magnetics and the energy patterns, things were bound together in a particular way and they formed into a beautiful spiral called DNA. Nobody knew. I mean, like, what was DNA made of? So it's made up of all these proteins that go with this other stuff that stick it all together. But all these minerals have to be in this format to lay a decent DNA strand out.
Yeah, how do they connect to the DNA?
Well, we'll go through that and you'll see that through those charts and the process that Walter Russell did.
Okay.
And this is a problem that when we start looking at things that are 3, 4, 5 dimensional on a flat screen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really interesting because we think, I'm just going to flick forward to it, but we think of the periodic table in this way, right? And I'll just bring it up on the screen there. Yeah. And that's a kind of a 2-dimensional look at.
No, it's not even 2. It's 1 as far as I'm concerned. It's just flat.
Yeah, it's just flat, totally. Yeah. Whereas when you think about his work, and gosh, this book is amazing, how much you've used it. And I think about that, it's like your Bible.
Well, it's a reference book.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant reference book. It's time, place, minerals, what's that do, reflection of what it does in our body.
Yeah.
And reproduction and that. And we'll go through that a little bit further as we go on. So I looked at this and go, now that answers a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Now, and what really, really I liked about the whole process was that Olry, who's a chiropractor, who had actually dug out all the research from PubMed, which is all the research journals that they publish.
Yeah, that's no joke. I've got a Bachelor in Health Studies, and PubMed is where it's at for all the science.
Yeah, and this is the part where I'm trying to, as we go through this stuff, is like I want to show you the links that there is a methodical, logical process and how we're all put together. But because there's no money in it, in a logical, healthy perspective, because healthy people don't spend any money, so I can't use them.
That's right.
They don't see that principle of how to build this process into a sensible outcome. Because basically, I'll go step back a bit. When you're a farmer, you're the one that buys wholesale. No, you don't. You buy retail and sell wholesale. It's not the other way around.
Right.
Okay. And you're being sold to all the time, because like you've got a large income and all that sort of stuff. But we don't put into context that they say the market wants this stuff. Okay, the market doesn't know what it wants because you haven't produced it yet. And so it's not until we actually really understand that what we produce and how we produce it and the quality of it and the reason for producing it this way, then you got something to market.
Okay.
And so when you're building this stuff up and you've got this precision and environmental and health and eating quality and everything, you're actually building it for a reason because you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
Like, so any manufacturer in the world makes it so they can sell it. Okay, so we're just a biological manufacturer.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And so hence your manufacturing inputs are actually the minerals. That's your factory.
That's my little factory.
If I can think of it as that, for the analogy.
Well, in the last podcast, I talk about my little Swiss watch.
That's right.
It's got all these sprockets and all these things go round, and the incy-bincy, teeny-weeny one right in the middle, if it's not working, the whole thing stops.
Yeah.
And so when we look at it on that mechanism, this sledgehammer approach, you need this. Okay, why? Because you're selling it? Or is it going to help me produce something that there's somebody else on the other side of the world wants to pay me huge sums of money or just down the road?
Yeah, and by the way, just to be clear, someone on the other side of the world who wants to pay you huge sums of money for that beautiful cut of premium beef or whatever that output is, it's a real world example. It's not just kind of talk.
No, I've been there and seen the money on offer. And it's like, we've got to get real about this thing. It's like we go, oh, this New Zealand, it's clean green, and going, oh, whatever. God, don't fucking drivel. Like coming into Pyro the other day, I just got to go past the last few days. You know, someone sprayed out their paddock and then they've cut silage and made silage out of it. It's the most daft thing on the planet. It's like they've just put an antibiotic in the land that kills the biology and they're going to feed it to the cows. Yeah, really good idea. So straight away, it's a no-brainer.
Just remind people why it's an antibiotic.
Well, Roundup is an antibiotic. It's just
registered as
a registered antibiotic. And like, if you're going to kill your biology, well, then you realise that you're going to give away all this nutrient manufacturing and process that starts this whole scenario from one end to the other. And then you're going to have to replace it with something else. And it's going to cost you. That's all there is to it. And I'm sure the customers, honestly, if you put that on your labelling, how many people would buy that product?
Oh, geez, I don't know. That'd be a little bit too honest, I suspect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop this dishonesty about this and let's start getting to the bottom of this process. You don't go and buy a brand new motor vehicle from somebody that's dishonest that you get 3 miles down the road, the warranty's gone and the motor blew up. Oh, well, we just have to sell you another engine. Oh, this one's better than the last one before. Why? Oh, it's just because we can sell it to you. You know, like this is daft. We just bonkers. So consumers, markets and everything, they want products, right? But they can't want it if you haven't delivered it. Now, I remember having this long discussion with you about marketing about the iPhone.
Oh, yeah,
when
that's
it first started. It said right at the very beginning, they were selling a concept about 3 different things into one, wasn't it? And
if I remember it, he says, it's a phone, it's an internet communicator, and it's a music player. And he kept repeating those 3 things. And he goes, do you get it? Do you get it? It's the iPhone. Because people didn't have an understanding of the concept. And nor would they have even necessarily wanted it if he hadn't just built it and got it out there to them before they knew what they would want. Because he could see it. He had the vision for it. Sorry, I kind of a bit of a fan of Steve Jobs.
No, beautiful, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I only went out into the market because we actually started to realise that we had a really good product.
Yeah.
We'd built it. They didn't know they wanted it because they didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when we went into, these restaurants in London and these French chef and the BBC food guys, they didn't know this existed.
At that level.
Yeah,
there's levels to things, right? And if you just get used to low-grade stuff and then the best you can do out of that is, season, saute it and fill it up with herbs for consumption, but you don't know at its core level it can get that much better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that reflects in kiwi fruit and avocados and anything that you grow. And that's why it's nice to eat your own food, because if you've done it well, it's bloody lovely. Those big orange eggs that we get from our chickens and things like that. It's just a change. And this is the basis of where we're going to, is that there's a reason for everything. Trying to work out the reason for everything's pretty hard, but you can actually get some basics in this process and realise we're here to produce food. Well, that's the only job I know of a farmer: food, fibre, whatever, like what you produce off the farm. Let's do the best job we possibly can at the least possible cost for the best possible outcome instead of being the target. If you do it well, there isn't any issues with compliance and all this other stuff, because there's nothing to comply with, because the farm's beautiful, clean, the water comes off clean, the products are all fantastic, you haven't used any chemicals, and you're making money. Dear me, where are we going on holiday again this year?